Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, I'm Yvette. Welcome. So in today's video I want to talk about what it really means to grow up. To me personally, I think, as kids we always had this vision or idea about growing up. We had these things we thought, like, when you reach at such an age you'll have all these things, you'll be doing so much. But then as you grow, you discover that growing up is actually not like you wake up one day and you're a different person. It's something that is already happening. You're already changing each day, and each second you're already becoming a different person. And as kids we had these ideas that by the time we reach a certain age, let's say when we finish high school, we would be like different people. We dress differently, talk differently, associate with different people. But then you reach a point and you realize actually those things were never like true. Some of them don't come exactly as you thought as kids, and at some point it might feel like you're not doing enough, you're not saying enough, you're not being enough. But then it's just part of growing up. First thing you realize when you grow up is that the friends you thought you'd have when you're all grown up, the ones you thought maybe you had childhood friends, so you thought, oh, you'll grow up and be the same friends, do this and that, live next to each other, have adventures and all that. It reaches that point that life changes. All your friends, like, your path changes sometimes, and you might not be like growing with the same friends who you thought, like, when you reach a certain age you'll just grow into different things. So friendship changes when you grow up. The next thing that changes is your interest. Maybe what you thought you'd love when you grow older, you don't like it anymore. You have found like new interests and new things to do. So don't really think that what you like as a kid is what you love as a grown-up. No, those things changes, because as you grow older you get exposed to different experiences and different people, and that means your interest and your exposure will also change. So that's another thing that changes. Another thing is, as you grow older you realize that you become more, like, how do I say it, you become more responsible. You become more responsible. I don't mean like you start like working and doing this and that. Yes, you start doing those things, but then you start becoming responsible for yourself. You start taking better care of yourself. You start like thinking about yourself, and you also start taking responsibility for your actions and how you treat people, and you start being cautious on how you think, how you talk, how you relate to people, and who you relate to. So your relationship with yourself changes, and the relationship you have with other people also changes. Even your siblings, the relationship you have with them also changes, because it becomes mature and all that. Even your parents, how you relate to them changes. That's part of growing up. Another thing about growing up is that you start being more financially cautious. You start taking caution in how you use your money. I know when you're a kid you think, oh, when I grow up I'll get a lot of money, I'll start buying a lot of clothes, buying a lot of shoes. But then as you grow up you realize that, oh, these things become so irrelevant at some point. You have other things that you think about. You start saving. You start using your money for like very important things, because you have bills and all that. And as a kid you thought, oh, you'll have lots of money to spend on clothes and all that. Yes, sometimes you do, but then you're more cautious about it. You don't just go spending your money. Another thing that changes when you grow up is things that you consume. What do I mean by this? When you're a kid you just eat anything. When you're a kid you just get exposed to anything. But as you grow older you realize that you are more aware of what you eat, more aware of what you read about, more aware of what you listen to. So that's still part of growing up. You start being exposing yourself into healthy things, and you actually choose what you get exposed to. So that's also part of growing up. Another thing about growing up you realize is that you don't really worry about the things you used to worry about anymore. If as a kid, let's say you have an issue with a friend or something, as a kid you always try to go and apologize, make it better and all that. But as you grow up you realize that sometimes you should just let people be. You can't control who people are, and you can't be what they want all the time. When you grow up, you realize that you have to put yourself first. Of course, when you are wrong, obviously you have to apologize, but then if you are not wrong, you don't have to try so hard to please people. You reach a certain age and you realize people are always who they are, and they'll always be who they are. You can never change them, and don't even try to change them. Try to be who you are, and if they don't like it or they don't resonate with it, please move on. Don't try to you don't try to please people anymore. As you grow older, you realize that one. And also, when you were a kid, there were so many things you used to worry about, like, oh, what is someone thinking about me? Oh, so and so doesn't like me. Oh, so and so is doing this and that, and I'm not doing it. But as you grow older, you realize that everyone else was always thinking about their own lives. No one really cares about it, but about your life and what you do with your life that much. Everyone else is independently thinking about themselves. So the things you thought, like the insecurities you had as a kid about yourself, thinking that everyone else is always looking at you, doing this and that, when you grow up, you realize no one really cared about you and what you were doing with your life. Everyone else was in their own path. Everyone else had their own problems to think about. Everyone else had their own dreams to try to work towards. So as you grow older, that's when you realize it. But as a kid, you never realize it. You always worry about what people say, do, how will people see you, and all that. And as you grow older, you realize that all the things you had in mind about growing up, all the ideas you had, some of them were way off. As things come falling into place as you grow, you realize that what you thought you needed as a kid, you don't need it anymore, or you actually found a better thing. And I hope we always stop ourselves and realize all the amazing things we've had, all the opportunities we've been exposed to, all the other things that we never even thought we were capable of having in our lives. And we should also realize that whatever is happening in our lives at a particular point is what is actually meant to be happening, and whoever is in your life at a particular point is exactly who is supposed to be in your life. And don't feel like, oh, you have to do this, or you have to change this and that. If the change you're doing is for you, then that's good. Don't try to change for other people, because your life is happening at its exact time. Yeah, so you shouldn't be trying to keep up. You shouldn't be trying to killing yourself just to make things different if it's not what is in your heart or what you're interested in at that particular point. So everything we've been through, everything we've overcome, all the worries we've been through, they've led us into who we are. And growing up might not be what we thought it would be, but so as you go through life, as you're growing up, let's realize that growing up is not like a one-day thing, it's a gradual thing. And don't wait for that day when you get to 25, that day when you get to 30, that day when you get to I don't know which age. Don't wait. If you want to do something and you're able to do it at a particular point, do it. I hope you got the message. Growing up might not be anything that you thought it will be. We might not have everything that you thought we would have. We might not be still the same people as you thought, but where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be. Whatever we have in our lives is exactly what we're supposed to be having. So I hope you realize that growing up might not be what you thought, but it's happening in the perfect way possible. And that's it for this video. I hope you got something, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.